Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book Universe, and I told you I'd be back. And yeah, I actually got the right graphic on there now, that little like permanent GIF, and it's Hella. And yeah, I now have Kate Blanchett Hella, and she's mine. So I'm totally gonna marry her and stuff because she's awesome in this. Oh my God, she's awesome in this. Look, I know that she was good in Lord of the Rings, Kate Blanchett as Galadriel, but no, this was something else. This was something else. She had the whole, they will love me and fear me. It was good. It was good. But in this, I was actually afraid of her. When they were like, bow to me, I was like, I started moving in my seat because, like, it was good. It was good. Guys, this is going to be a spoiler as hell review. All right. I'm giving away everything, all right? Literally, like, you get a spoiler, and you get a spoiler, and you get a spoiler. It's going to be like that good, all right? Look, check this out. There's two times that Led Zeppelin's, what do you call, the Immigrant Song plays, all right? And I'm going to tell you right now that when they play, when that song comes on, just rip off your clothes and be like, yeah, because that's how it feels. That's how it feels. It's so good. Look, the movie starts off. Okay, I'm literally not going to go over like every scene in the movie, but the movie starts off with that original scene they showed where he falls down, he's got the chains wrapped around him and whatnot, and he's in the underground of Muspelheim, and he's face to face with Surtur. Yeah, they get right into that. And Thor is great in this. He's actually really good because Surtur is not at full power, and Thor's just there, and he's just like, he's like I'm not going to give away this because it's too funny. It's too, if I give it away, it's going to be like, yeah, Professor Bill told me about this. This is actually really good. This is as funny as he said. No. But if I don't tell you anything about it, you'll be watching and be like, this is actually really funny. Yeah, like that. I'm not going to give away those kinds of spoilers. Jeez, come on. But look, what we do have here is, oh, hey, Dick Fillmore. What's up, brother? I will watch tomorrow. See ya. Yeah. Go back and look at my non-spoiler review because you just missed that one, brother. Look, so Thor gets into a fight with just about everybody in Muspelheim in here, and that's the first time that Led Zeppelin starts playing, and it's literally like just and he's tearing people up. He's tearing demons up. Everything you could imagine, he's tearing it up. And it's great. It's great. The graphics are great. Everything about this is just, it's believable. It's like, there are really fire demons. Because they're really good. At this point, he goes back to Asgard, and very quickly, that whole debauchery with Loki pretending to be Odin, that's uncovered quickly. Guys, in the comic books, Thor has the ability to see through illusions. It's not like the perfect power, but from a score of 1 to 100, it's a 30. And that's actually a very accurate number. He can see through, and that's with or without the hammer. It's actually him because he grew up with, his brother being the god of mischief, the god of making illusions and messing with you. And he tells a story in here about this one time that Loki tried to kill him when they were younger, and it's hysterical. I'm dying. Rowan, hey, Mark Rowan, what's going on, brother? But, oh my God, this was just so good. This was so good. So all of that is dispelled, and then immediately they have to go and actually try to find Odin. Odin is uber powerful. He doesn't have to worry about, a beatdown or whatever. He really quickly got rid of Loki's spell. Did it actually hurt him? We don't know, but here comes the first really big spoiler. They go and there's and they go to Earth. Loki looks good. I got to go and get me a nice all black suit. I've got mostly all black, but I got to get like literally all black because I think I could pull that off. Just have to grease my hair a little bit. I'm Italian. You figure I got mostly grease in there anyway, right? So anyway, all of a sudden he gets scooped up. He gets teleported away, and you know exactly the graphic that they're using. That you look at it and you're like, holy crap, it's Doctor Strange. So that's when that scene happens with Doctor Strange. And it's not him tagging along through the whole movie. No, he's not a part of the Revengers. He's absolutely not. That scene does happen in the movie. What they do, however, is say, Well, it says a non-spoiler review was streamed 2 days ago. Oh, well, we're moving through time, man. Doctor Strange, we're talking about Doctor Strange right now, Benedict Cumberbatch, and he has the time gem, right? So, anyway, he, it's a very extended scene. It's at least 5 minutes. It feels like longer because it's so good. And then when it finishes, you're like, no, bastards. This is where they go and they meet up with Odin. I'm not going to tell you what happens here, but I will say it has lasting consequences. Lasting consequences. Like I said, it's not that kind of a spoiler review. I'm not going to just give you the whole damn movie. Because you got to see it, and I do want you to go there and be like, holy crap, are you serious? Did this just happen? And the action begins quickly. Like the surprise! Wow. It happens quick. They get right into the action, and boom. How Thor gets to Sakaar, very believable. Very believable. And if you know anything about time streams and the physics thereof, it's also believable that Loki got there when he did also. So that was really good. The whole Thor meeting Hulk for the first time in the gladiatorial arena, of course that happens. It's a lot more extended than they give away. Like you sit there and think, oh, they gave away the whole movie. They absolutely did not give away the whole movie. They absolutely did not. So much more happens in here, and it's like you really start to get into the movie. You're like, holy crap, I'm really getting into this. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like feeling myself getting excited. I'm like, I'm sitting next to this dude, and I'm just like, I want to like grab the seat and just like move forward and be like, yeah. It was, oh my God. This battle was awesome. This battle was so awesome. Holy crap. Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie, I don't know if I'm going to get too much into what happens with her because it's good. It's, in my opinion, everything with her involved in it was just made so much better because she was in the movie. She's really good. She's a great actress. I want to see her in the movies going forward, not just the Thor movies. I want to see her, if possible, become an Avenger. Like I know it's weird, it's different, but you know what? Realistically, she was a part of the original Defenders. So if she doesn't become an Avenger, they could split off and do a different version of the Defenders. They could even do the Lady Liberators, which she originally started. They could do A-Force. And people have been clamoring for that. In fact, Valkyrie is actually the one who brought up that she met with a whole bunch of different women in the Marvel Universe, including Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, including Zoe Saldana as Gamora, all these different women in the movies, including Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. All these people, and she's like, you know what? We should actually go to Kevin Feige and say that we want to do an all-female movie. They did go to Kevin Feige, and Kevin Feige was apparently open to it. He may have just been saying whatever. I did also see at one point that he goes and says to the people, "Hey, listen, we'll do an all-women movie when our competition does an all-woman movie." You know what I'm saying? Which is a real big cop-out. It's a real big cop-out, and I'm actually disappointed that he did that. An A-Force movie, guys, the A-Force comic it blew people out the water. And even people who usually say misogynistic things and whatnot have said, okay, this was actually a really good comic. This was a good storyline. It's a shame that it ended when it did, but it was still really good. On top of that, they could very easily make that movie with the cast and crew that's here now. Really good. So Thor is now trying to spend most of his time trying to get off of this planet. You meet up with Korg and Meek. Meek doesn't talk at all. Meek is funny, though, with his body language. Everything that he does is hysterical. He's like a Chewbacca character in that his actions are what really does it. And, every time that he makes his little noise, he was really good in this. Just him moving around and just being like, he's not Meek from the comics. Oh, that scene that I was going to tell you about before. I'm going to tell you now. Didn't give it to you in the non-spoiler. You remember the scene where on Planet Hulk is doing battle with all these different people, and all of a sudden they bring out the champion, and that champion happens to be the Silver Surfer. Now, in the Hulk animated movie, the Planet Hulk animated movie, they couldn't use Silver Surfer because he's owned, you know what I'm saying, by Fox. Goddamn their souls. And I said it. So instead, they had to use Beta Ray Thor, and the exact same scene happened. Well, the exact same scene happens here also, and it's good. Hulk does a number on on Thor, where you're like, he's not getting up from that. There's no way he's getting up from that. And you get to see Thor. I know a lot of people are going to say, there's a lot of people who probably, you've read some Thor comics before. Maybe you've read a lot of Thor comic books, but you haven't read all the Thor comic books. I haven't read all the Thor comic books. Come on. But Thor does have the ability to channel his lightning, his thunder, without the hammer. He is the god of thunder. There's actually a really good commentary on that with Odin later on. And they change it up a little bit, but they do it in a really good way. Odin actually says to him at one point, I don't want to say it because it's not going to ruin anything for you necessarily, but I want that impact to really be there for you guys. Guys, this was just such a good movie. It's so worth seeing. One of the things they do change, and I want to prepare you for this a little bit in advance, because this did stop the movie for me a little bit, and I had to start thinking, and I had to just kind of let it go, because it's like, whatever. But on the drive home, I started thinking about it again, and it's like, okay, you know what? It makes sense. It's fair. Not everybody's going to be big on the Norse mythology, where you know that Hela is or Hel in the Norse mythology. Her name is not Hela. Her name is Hela in the comic books. In the Norse mythos, she's just Hel, just like the name of her place, her realm in Niflheim. It's called Hel. Hel rules over Hel with one L. Hela is not in the Norse mythology. Hela is the daughter of Loki. Loki has 3 children. Hela, the Fenris wolf, and Jormungand, the Midgard serpent. Here, you don't get to see Jormungandr in here, which is fine. You get to see the Fenris wolf. We already saw that. And you get to see Hela. They could easily make a 4th Thor movie and have the Midgard serpent in it and just... Oh my god. Oh, be still my beating heart. I think it was Thor issue number 380, was it? It wasn't 280. It had to have been 380. 382, I think it was. Just, oh my god. If I pull that out of my comic book box right now and I read through that, it's going to give me chills. And I've read that book so many times. I've bought it four times. I've bought that book 4 times because losing my comic book collection and coming back to it and whatever. Like, 4th time I bought the comic book. Whatever. It's worth it. I'd buy it again if I have to. One of the best comic books out there. The first comic where there's all splash pages except for the last page. They can't make everything perfect. That's Walter Simonson's words. Can't make everything perfect. Don't try and make everything perfect. Anyway, what they have is, and I'm going to get to I see the comments flying. I'm going to get to the comments at the end of the video, because the people who are watching, they want to know what's going on in the movie. Here, in the comics, Hela is sometimes referred to as the daughter of Loki, but at the same time, Hela has said, when Hela's asked about it, it's like, you're the daughter of Loki. How did you get so powerful? And, it's like, oh, the rumor of me being the daughter of Loki. Yes, it's true, but it's a lot more complicated than that. And that's literally the best explanation that they give for it. Guys, in the description below, Hela explained in a minute. I do most of the characters, most of the most of the Norse Pantheon in the comic books below, including Heimdall. I know Idris Elba is an incredible actor, and when they got him for the Thor movie, I was like, oh my god, they're going to do something amazing with this guy. The problem is they didn't realize what they had with him, so they just gave him a nobody role. He had a nobody role in Thor the Dark World. He had a potentially nobody role in Avengers 2, Age of Ultron. You know what I'm saying? In this, he did not have a nobody role. He kicked some serious butt. He was Idris Elba playing Heimdall, and it was good. It was really good. Hopefully, we get to see a whole lot more of him, and they're like, okay, we realize who he is. We don't want to lose him to DC, because we could lose him to DC easily. I'm very disappointed that Sif was not in this. Very disappointed. Wow. I'm also going to give you guys a heads up. The Warriors 3, oh, they dead. Oh, they die in this, and they die a pretty damn gruesome death. Especially Hogun. Hogun gets it bad. Just heads up. But now the thing with Hela, Mistress of Death, she is the sister of Loki and, adopted, and sister of Thor directly. So she's the older sister. So she's kind of got an Angela moment going right up there. Neil Gaiman created character for the Spawn comics, which Marvel eventually bought when Image didn't want to pay for it anymore because, they talked themselves into a corner. So they kind of gave her role in a sense of saying she is the true heir of Asgard. By Odin not being in Asgard anymore, she's now free to do what she wants. And she is really powerful. She's really powerful. And Thor hasn't really come into his own yet. Not really. And you'll get to see that in the movie where you'll be like, it makes sense. You might want him to use the hammer more. Sorry, guys. It doesn't happen. It's a lasting consequence. When she breaks the hammer's done. The hammer's done. You do not get to see the hammer in the movie anymore. In fact, at one point, he actually reaches back to grab Mjolnir and then realizes, oh, shoot. You know what I'm saying? So, it's literally like a phantom limb for him. He does use another hammer later on, but it's not the same. But it is really cool seeing him use it. It's badass. But that's what I mean about lasting consequences in this movie. The hammer's gone. We're done with the hammer. Yes, I'm sure they're going to bring the hammer back. Come on. But right now, I've never seen him use the hammer like he does in this. It was really good. So you get enough of the hammer, but Mjolnir is gone, dudes. So just, go in there expecting what you get is all you get. You don't hear from the hammer anymore for the rest of the movie, even the end credits, of which there are 2. So she is the older sister of Thor. She is extremely powerful. She is an OP character, but at the same time, you got to understand, in the comic books, she's also OP. In the comic books, it's not very different from Walter Simonson's run. There's a lot in Walter Simonson's run here in this comic book. Just like after Walter Simonson's first, he had one long run, a 5-year run. The first half of his run was with Surtur. The second half was mostly with Hela cursing Thor. That doesn't happen in here. There is a mention of Throg, the frog Thor, the frog of thunder. There is a mention in here, and it was a very great homage. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was perfect. It was just perfect the way that it was. They do mention a lot from Walter Simonson's run. I told you earlier in the non-spoiler review that you have several faces on the side of the wall. Hulk's face is one of the faces. It's on the side by the wall. I mean the building that Entui Gast, the Grandmaster, that he's in. One of the faces on there is Beta Ray Thor. You actually see his full Corbinite face, like with the horse face and all that stuff. You see Beta Ray Thor on there, so indicating that he was a past champion. So, no, unfortunately, he does not drop in this movie. There's no indication that he will show up in the movie. The end of the movie, however, is a great homage to the Corbinite people. Again, there's so much in here that Walter Simonson should be sitting down, having watched this movie and just saying, yeah, my run is the greatest run in all of comics. Not just in all of Thor, but in all of comics. The guy has, wow, we can get into that another day. Check me out talking about that wherever, man. So, Valkyrie, her story, how she used to be a Valkyrie, how she's now the last of the Valkyrie, and how she winds up finally coming. There's kind of like a Crow moment where that's the reason why she decides to become a Valkyrie again. It's good. It's really good. Everything with Jeff Goldblum in this, because Jeff Goldblum is one of those hit or miss characters. He was pretty good in the first Jurassic Park, and the second one, they're like, oh yeah, and it was just Jeff Goldblum overflow with, well, you see, with Chaos Theory, yeah, and I'm not going to keep doing that to you, because you guys will all start slitting your throats and hanging yourselves, I fully understand. He doesn't do that in here. He is Jeff Goldblum, but not that version of Jeff Goldblum. There is no in this. He doesn't you to death, but he's funny. There isn't a scene in here where he's not funny. And it's not, some of it's, oh shoot, humor. Some of it's just, okay, that was good. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's very endearing. It's one of those things that he could call this his comeback. You know what I'm saying? The reason why he's in more movies again, he could say, like, John Travolta's had many comebacks in his future and many movies that have destroyed him. We can talk about Pulp Fiction. We can talk about Battlefield Earth. I'm just saying. But this particular movie, Jeff Goldblum could easily say that this is one of his comebacks because this was good. Gabriel doesn't like the hammer. I like the hammer, but no, this is good stuff. No, the girl who marries Karen was her name. Oh wow, I forget her name. No, she is not in this movie. They do indicate that Valkyrie might be this girl in some ways. Tessa Thompson has she's whatever. She plays many roles in this movie, and I've never seen her before. I know that she was in some TV show before this or something like that, whatever. I don't know how she was in that. How she was in this, she seamlessly changed characters a lot. It was all very, she went from being deadly serious to being, like, okay, there's some humor in that, to all of a sudden, oh my God, she's hysterical. She kind of played like a valley girl, ish, little tiny bit scene. Like, there was a lot of stuff in here, and she really played her roles well. I want to see her, like I said, I want to see her in more because she was really good in this. She deserves to stay the Valkyrie. Check out Valkyrie explained in a minute in the description below. Guys, this was an amazing movie. This really was. I am going to go and see this again. There's no doubt about it. I'm actually going to have to try and, like, maybe this weekend, I could try and, my wife's going to try and bring the kids over to her mom's house, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to go out to the car really quick. I'll be right back. Yeah, tomorrow. And then we're going to both try and go and see this movie again. It's totally worth it. It's totally worth to see this movie twice, guys. Again, this is heavy action with obviously fantasy and sci-fi, and peppered with humor throughout. There are going to be some points where you'll start thinking, okay, there's too much humor, stop, but I'm still laughing. And all the way up until the very end, every single bit of the humor is just like, okay, that was actually really good. Literally, if you want to prepare yourself for going in to see this movie, just go in there and say, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to be entertained. The second time that they play the Led Zeppelin, the Immigrant Song, you are going to want to get out of your seats. Holy crap. And they might as well, like when Robert Plant is singing, no, you might as well just be sitting there and listening to saying, motherfucker, and just whacking people all over the place because, oh my God, it is action-packed like crazy. Oh, should I give it away? I'm not going to give it away. What I'm going to say is, no, I'm not even going to say that because you're going to get it. No, I don't want to give it away because it's too good. It's too good. And it might bother you at some points, but I think that by the end of the movie, you'll be like, you know what? I'm okay with this. You'll see where they did some CG that wasn't there before. What I'm going to suggest is, if you haven't seen the movie yet, go back and watch the trailer where Thor comes down with the light. That is Thor. That's not Ragnarok the cyborg. That's Thor. I didn't know they were going to do this. Thor comes down with the lightning all around him, God of Thunder, and he does a Raiden scene where he jumps forward and spins around and just bowls through a bunch of people. That was cool. But I want you to really look at his makeup in that scene and then realize what they actually did to him later when you see the movie. Because, guys, you need to go and see this movie. I'm not joking. I wouldn't steer you wrong, all right? Don't go there expecting this is going to be a thinking man's movie. Go there for a hard-hitting, action-packed movie. It's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie with slightly better jokes, all right? No, actually, it's a lot better jokes because you're actually going to laugh for the jokes. It's not puns. He's not throwing out puns. It's actually good stuff. And he's not going into a shed and pulling out saw blades and stuff like that. Meanwhile, he just had an M60 in his hand. No. Oh, the executioner scene. That was the scene I was talking about that I didn't want to give away, and I didn't even want to say the character's name in the non-spoiler. Here, I'm going to give this away. If you guys go and check my first off Executioner Explained in a Minute, and then attached to the Executioner Explained in a Minute video in the description, there's a spotlight on story for a 3-issue spread of Walt Simonson's run, which is the death of the Executioner. Executioner dies in this, okay? Go and check it. If you got an hour to spend to listen to my review of what I believe is the greatest death in any... Forget the death of Superman. Forget about the death of Captain Marvel. Forget about the death of Captain America, my favorite character in comic books. Forget about every death you've ever seen before. This is, to me, in my heart, this is the death that every single time that you read this, if you sit down and you read this and you know anything about the history of the Executioner, how he's always just a bad guy, he's always just a throwaway bad guy. But in these 3 issues, if you read these issues, or at the very least, check it out here so you can get an idea of why you should read these issues, it is the best death in any comic book ever. Nobody is ever going to reach that. And it's important for me to say that to you because it doesn't reach that level in the movie. Yes, he does die. Yes, he does die in an almost exact way. The Blood Axe doesn't look like the Blood Axe. That I was ashamed of. I'm a little bit disappointed they didn't make the Blood Axe look better. As far as his death not being the same, guys, there was no way in hell, with one L, to recreate that. There was just no way possible to recreate that. If they could have pulled that off, oh my God, that would have just been the saddest. I'm about to start choking up right now. That is literally just like the best. And if you're not a huge comic book fan, you just want to see the movie and you're watching this, you're like, oh, this guy's about to cry. Dude, I could tell you stories that'll make you cry too, if you actually have a soul. So whatever, man. But I will say, like, literally, like great American novels, the comic books, all right? The story that just keeps telling, the novels that never end. Yeah, there's some really good, touching, emotional moments in there. Like, it's not just superheroes in spandex beating up people. There are actual human stories in there, especially, in my opinion, especially in the Marvel comics, where characters have flaws, where they're gods with deficit. You know what I'm saying? The death of the Executioner in the comics was unparalleled, and that includes the recreation of it here in this. If he would have been in the first Thor movie, and then you would have gotten, just a glimpse of him, a little bit of something, and then they explored him a little bit more and maybe had him in the battle against Malekith the Accursed in Thor the Dark World, maybe they could have done better justice with him here. But introducing him here and just seeing him flip-flop back and forth like he did, there were some very funny scenes with him. His first appearance is like, oh my God, this is great. His second appearance is like, oh my God, I'm dying. His third appearance in this is like, oh dude, stop, it's too much. Like, he's great in this. He's really great in this. But the death scene just simply wasn't enough. Plus, they're M16A1s, which is what was used in the comic books. So I get it, but that was way back in the day when there was only the M16A1. Maybe the A2 existed at the time too. I don't know. Back in '83, did the A2 exist? Whatever. But Carl Urban does a great freaking job recreating everything in there. But the death does kind of fall a little bit short. Whatever, man. Whatever. You're not going to recreate that. But this was an absolutely amazing. This was an amazing movie. This was so good. Again, it's not drama. It's not a spy movie. It's not a car chase movie. They don't reload. And, like Executioner fires way too many bullets in two 30-round clips. You know what I'm saying? You know what? None of the characters stop to go to the bathroom either. So a little bit of suspension of disbelief with magical hammers that return to your hand after you throw it. You know what I'm saying? But this movie was really good. Action-packed, long-lasting, possibly permanent consequences. I'm just saying, if you guys have read the comic books from like Siege, and actually from Volume 3 of Thor and on, there may be a Broxton, Oklahoma. That's all I'm saying. If you don't understand what I'm saying, you haven't read that in the comic books, it's not going to mean anything to you if I explain it. But if you have read the comic books, a lot of you guys are right now perking up and saying, oh shoot, really? Yeah, really. Which means that things could get, like I said, permanent changes for the Marvel Universe with this movie. and not anything that I think that anybody. I can't think of any reason for anybody to complain about the changes in this movie or just the movie in and of itself. It was really good. All right, guys, let me get to some of these comments. How long has this been going? Oh my God, I've been talking for half an hour. Jeez, I never shut up. Okay, so it says you're okay. Now it says 43 seconds ago. All right, Nova Bro, thank you. Rowan, your YouTube is insane like that. I know, right? Oh, yeah, Nova Bro just said the same thing. I know, right? How would you rate the movie from A to F? Okay, good question, Nova Bro. I tried to think of it, and it's very hard to do. I'm going to say that if you went in to watch the movie expecting the movie to be something that it wasn't, you would probably give it a C. You'd say it's a pretty average movie, which means it's like I expected more, whatever. But me telling you what to expect going to this movie, I don't see how you can not give this movie an A. At the very least, an A minus, or at the very worst, an A minus. Even in the B category, which would still be fine. Dude, I've gotten B's in high school before, and I'd be like, all right, I got a B. B is good. B's right. B's good. B is not a D. B is not an F. You know what I'm saying? B is good. I'm good with a B. Rather my A's, but I like my B's. I'm good with that. Still good. But I honestly believe that this is in the A value. I honestly believe that this is in the A value. This really was a good movie. And I'm putting in a serious emphasis on that. I don't want to say it's a great movie because I like to reserve, the better adjectives for movies that are actually going to be deep and think like this was. I'm not joking. Like this is the Arnold Schwarzenegger, movie for. Oh my God, Matt Damon was in this movie. I forget who the other guy that was in there, and you'll see what I'm talking about very early on in the movie. Holy crap, Matt Damon is in the movie. Matt Damon plays Thor. Just saying. Wait, did he play Thor? No, he played Loki. He played Loki in the movie. No, Tom Hiddleston's still in it. Just trust me when I say, seeing Matt Damon in the movie was great. It would have been nice if they could have gotten Ben Affleck too, but I can see where there would be a conflict of interest there, whatever. Anyway, really good stuff. Really good stuff. I laughed my ass off when I was sitting there watching it. And there was nobody in the audience who was just like, yeah, whatever. And if they were, completely drowned out by the laughter. Like it was hard to hear what was being said because people were laughing so hard. It was great. It was great. So if you, like I said, if you go in there expecting that this is going to be an Arnold Schwarzenegger type movie, you're going to be like, dude, this was a damn good movie. I genuinely enjoyed the hell out of this. So yeah, for me, it's an A minus. It's an absolute A minus. Hey, sorry I'm late. Gabriel, go stand in detention. I'm joking. Welcome back, brother. Can you please talk about the Grandmaster or Game Master? It's Grandmaster. Entwy Gast is his real name. First off, check out the description below. Grandmaster explained in a minute. I actually explained the 5 major, what the hell are they called? The, not Eternals. For the love of God. You know what? I got it down here someplace, don't I? Did I put? No, I didn't. I put them as cosmic entities. I'm just having a brain fart right now. I know what they're called, but they use the power primordial as opposed to the power cosmic. The elders of the universe. All right. So he is one of the elders of the universe. He's actually the smartest of the elders of the universe. The only 2 who can really match him in power would be. So literally, like, is he? Basically, he's very similar to Tanlir Tiven, who plays the Collector. Who is the Collector, played by Benicio del Toro in the end credit to Thor the Dark World? Yes, I believe it's Thor the Dark World. He's in the end credits to that. And he's obviously also in the movie. The Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. He's in that. He's the same... he's not from the same race. And you know what? Seriously, just go and check out my Elders of the Universe Explained in a Minute. Check out all my Explained in a Minute. Seriously, I'm a walking encyclopedia when I do that. These are video encyclopedias. You will understand the hell out of the character, and it'll probably take you about a minute, a little bit more than a minute, to watch the videos. Go and check it out there. You'll learn all that you need to know about the Grandmaster. But on top of that, it's what do you call it? He's actually really good in this. He like I said, he's played by Jeff Goldblum. He plays his role really well. It's, like they're not, mind you, they're not playing them the way that they are in the comic books. I explain in a minute what they're like in the comic books. In the movie, they play both of them. They play very different characters, but yeah, they're still good. They're still good. They're not going to go anywhere. They're not dying. These guys aren't going to die. Let's see. Zorstorm32. What's up, brother? We need more of that in the comics with hammers. They can be powerful as Thor, but Thor is the god of thunder. Exactly. In fact, the thing that Odin says to him towards the end of the movie, he says, "Are you the god of thunder or are you the god of hammers?" And it was such a great moment. Such a great movement where literally you sit back and you laugh at it and then you're like, yeah, of course. It makes sense. You know? They tell you more about that. Rowan asked I answered your question already. Gabriel, yes, I want to know how she, Hela or Hel, became so powerful. Hela explained in a minute to see her in the comic books itself. As far as in the movie, you'll see it. They explain it very well. She's the firstborn of Odin, and she is taught to use all of her godly powers. Thor is taught to hold back. There are three characters in the Marvel Universe who, and you could count Captain America in this also. I get it, but there are three characters who are always known for holding back. The first one is Superman. Superman always holds back with everything that he does. Thor always holds back. There's the one time where he says, if I used only 30% of my power, it would be enough to destroy everybody. You know what I'm saying? I use 10% of my power, if that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's power. When you think of how powerful Thor is, even against Juggernaut, like he didn't want to use all of his power. He refused to use all of his power. He'd rather send him to another dimension rather than just like kill him. So there's that. And the last person would be Spider-Man, actually. Spider-Man's a lot stronger than a lot of people think. Right now in the comics, he can bench about 20 tons. You know what I'm saying? He's not Superman level. He's not Thor level. But Spider-Man is extremely strong, extremely, ridiculously strong. He always pulls his punches also, So those are the three characters who they're always talking about. They're holding back. So that, again, that ties into the comics so well here. He's taught to hold back. And in this, he's got to learn to not hold back against Hela. But she's just had forever to hone her powers, and she never held back. You get to see some, like, I'm going to say the writing on the wall. It's not even a hieroglyph. The painting on the ceiling explains a lot. It explains a whole lot. Think about what I just said about learning how to hold back your power, how to focus your power and hold back your power. And then look at the painting on the wall where you're just like, oh, that's interesting. Then when Odin says what he says later on, it suddenly all makes sense. So Hel is more OP. Yeah, Gabriel. I actually answered that before. I don't like the hammer, Gabriel. So you think Hel will be back? She actually will be back in... Whoa! Everything just exploded there. She absolutely will be back in Infinity War, which is good because Cate Blanchett plays such an amazing role in this. To me... Like, I'm not just saying by, like, how sexy she's an incredibly sexy woman. Oh, my gosh, she's gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? But, like, to me, it's a lot more than that. Like, her conduct, the way that she plays her role, everything in this, oh, my God, she is amazing. Just forget it, dude. Like, she is a goddess amongst women as just short-haired, blonde Cate Blanchett. Her ability to play in her roles in movie is just wow. And she's really into this character. If you go and check out Marvel on YouTube, some of the things that they show a bunch of really cool scenes with her. Like her and Chris Hemsworth as Thor and Mark Ruffalo, that's his name, as Bruce Banner. Those three are really promoting the movie a lot online and elsewhere. and they are really into promoting the movie, having a lot of fun with it. Oh my God, a lot of fun with it. You could tell she really loves her character, and goddess bless her. You know what I'm saying? Like, hella bless her, because like she is so damn good. She is so damn good in this movie. This is what I picked. You know what I'm saying? Out of all the ones they were showing, she is so damn good in this movie that, oh my God, I love seeing her in this. She was just perfect. So yes, she will be back in Infinity War, and you know what? I'm going to put it this way. You know how the only really good villain so far has been Loki? Like everybody else, like, oh, they killed the villain, gee, or oh, it's just an exact opposite of the other villain, or of the hero. It's like the shadow version of the villain, like an Ahura Mazda thing. Let me tell you something. She is amazing in this. She is better than Loki. She's different from Loki, but she's so believable. Every single scene that she's in, so believable. If I did have to say one thing that was bad, I actually wanted to say this before. It's the reason why I didn't give it an A. Instead, I gave it an A-. If there's one thing I did have to complain about with the movie, the transitions from what Hela's doing and what Thor and everybody else is doing, it felt to me like they could have done it better. It felt like, there was literally just like, okay, we're watching this stuff now, and now we're over here. And now we're back over here. And it's like, it kind of, it's hard to switch. Like, I feel like they could have done, could they have done it slower? Could they have segued into it more? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how to fix that. What I'm going to say is that literally, it's like, when this particular thing was solved and they had to go over and talk about, what Hela was doing now, it was literally just, okay, now over to here. So they did that a lot in the movie. And that's probably the only thing I could really strongly complain about the movie. And it's not even that strong. It's like, I forgot about it. That's how strong it was. Rowan, hey man, I saw the saw blades. No, I like the saw blades too. I'm not, whoa. Back off on the freaking saw blades, all right? Jeez, come on now. Gabriel Hughes, Comic Book University. Do you think people who don't read the comics will love this movie or not? Yes, I do. See, I actually gave this in my non-spoiler review. I'm going to give it again now. This is actually important, Gabriel. In order to make a good comic book movie, my opinion, you don't have to stick with the canon. You don't have to stick with, exactly what happened in the comic book. No. You have to make the characters believable. You have to make me believe that every character that I'm seeing that has already existed in the comic books is that character again. Okay? That's what you have to do. So if you've got Thor showing up and, it's played by somebody who's just going to, make jokes all the time. Okay? Yes, Chris Hemsworth makes jokes a lot as Thor. But he's also got the body posture down. For instance, this is one thing when the Thor movie came out, there was a whole lot wrong with that movie. You know what I'm saying? It was actually a really good movie, stuck very close with the comic books, but it was very bland because it was kind of too close to the comic books. I'll give you an example. When you do read the comic books and Thor wants to summon his hammer, what does he do? Right? Can you see that? Yeah, you can. You know what I'm saying? He reaches back and then the hammer comes to his hand and he turns around. Iron Man, when he lands, what does he do? Even in the comic books, what does he do? Boom, he lands. His one hand is up, and his other, he puts his fist on the ground to make himself stop. You know what I'm saying? And he's in that kind of weird kneeling position. You know what I'm saying? Captain America, when he throws his shield, he'll throw it in many different ways, but a very distinct certain number of ways he'll throw the shield. You know what I'm saying? Lots of different characters will do lots of different things. We know how Spider-Man acts in the movie. It's not just the idea of telling jokes. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear a Joker version. Like, here's something that was bad, okay? People somebody who's somewhere in the world who doesn't know who Lex Luthor is, who saw Jesse Eisenberg playing Lex Luthor, would probably think to themselves, this wasn't a great, like he was just too silly in this. And anybody who does know the comic books knows he was not Lex Luthor. He was not even Alexander Luthor, his cloned son. He was the Joker. He was playing the Joker. He wasn't playing any other role. He seemed to have mistook the name. Maybe he needs glasses and he's embarrassed to wear them. He wasn't playing Lex Luthor. That's why nobody liked that character, and we just kind of want him out. He doesn't get the character. You know what I'm saying? Batman and Superman killing people in BVS. That's more like, okay, here, we liked Batfleck in it, right? Because when he was beating people up, it reminded us of playing Arkham Asylum and all the three main Arkham games that came out. But aside from that, like he really reminded us of, he killed people that was kind of messed up, like actually shooting people, allowing people to be shot, all sorts of things like that. Like it's a bit much. Henry Cavill is good as Superman, but the direction that he got was disgusting. Batman is chasing some people who just stole kryptonite. So Superman, who doesn't like Batman for absolutely no reason on God's green earth, or Zack Snyder's Black Earth, you know what I'm saying, in the DCU, because everything's so freaking dark there, lands on top of or right in front of the Batmobile. It crashes. It gets destroyed. Batman could have been freaking killed inside of that thing. And then he goes up and he rips open, the front and whatnot. Just kind of stands there and wait for Batman to get out, knowing that he was going to be okay somehow. Meanwhile, the bad guys got away with kryptonite on top of that, which is something else. Guys, these are not my superheroes. And I'm not blaming Henry Cavill or Batfleck. You know what I'm saying? I'm not blaming these two for that. Ben Affleck. You know what I'm saying? I'm not blaming them for that. I'm blaming the direction, the director, Zack Snyder. Get him the hell out of the movies. Don't let him come back. He doesn't understand my superheroes. They would never act like that. That's not why they fought. All those times they fought in the movies. It's like we all want to see that. That's why the first week, boom, it broke records. The second week it broke records too, but not for the same reason, because nobody went back to see the movie, and everybody who did see the movie said, "Don't go and see that fucking movie." Oh my God, I just cursed. That's how upset I got at it. Like, don't go and see that movie. That movie sucks. It's not Batman, and that's sure as hell not Superman. I like Henry Cavill. He does a good job playing Superman, but the direction he got, it's almost like he needs to say, okay, let's go and do this. And Zack says, hey, that's not what I said. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? Henry Cavill needs to turn to him and say, shut up. I've got a better script than yours. It's called reading Action Comics. So shut up. That. All right? So back to Thor, back to all the Marvel movies, these guys get the characters. They get the characters. It's by no mistake that they make sure that Benedict Cumberbatch and John Bernthal go into a comic book shop and make sure that there are plenty of pictures of them being there and saying, okay, recommend me some comic books for my character. You know what I'm saying? Benedict Cumberbatch went in there dressed as Doctor Strange. And he bought a couple comic books. And the comic book, like, this is us. This is fans. The comic book owner, I believe it was actually it wasn't. I don't think it was the owner. Whatever. It doesn't matter. The guy who's behind the counter, he was like, okay, first off, you're not going to screw up my Doctor Strange. So this comic, these comics right here that you got, nah, you're not getting those. These comics are good. Come over with me. He literally did that. Come with me. I'm going to show you some more that you're going to get too. And he just went over and was like, boom, this is what you're going to read. Don't mess up my character. You know what I'm saying? When John Bernthal went out of costume to a comic book store, the guy sitting outside on a chair and whatnot comes walking up and he's like, hey, you the owner? He's like, yeah, I'm the owner, and I know who you are. You're not going to mess up my Punisher. And he's like, it's not what I'm here to do. He's like, come inside. Let's see if I can hook you up. And you know what I'm saying? Like, that's fans of the comic books. And the only thing you need to do is you don't need to recreate the movie. Recreate the character. You know what I'm saying? Recreate the character. Let me believe that you are that character. The body motion, some of the words that you use, the tone that you use, the actions, all sorts of things like that. Make me believe you're the character. You can tell me whatever the hell story that you want to tell me. Act like the character. So fans will be perfectly fine with this. That being said, like, long way to answer your question, yeah, I believe that people who don't know anything about the character could go inside and just sit there and be like, yeah, this was actually a really good, fun movie. My adrenaline was pumping during certain parts, and they calmed me down with a joke all the time. It was literally just wash, rinse, repeat. the entire time. And it felt good. It felt good. Even the bleak moments, a little something like a wave could just kind of go, okay, that was good. Because you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What are these guys going to do next? This was good. This was a good movie. Yes, I believe that non-fans will enjoy this. Mighty Pac-Man. I can't believe Hulk did the puny move on Thor. Oh, you saw it. Good man. Yes, he did that. First off, I don't want to kill. Okay, just, you know what? That was good enough, what Mighty Pac-Man just said. Yeah, he did the puny move on Thor, and Loki's reaction before and after. Damn, Tom Hiddleston is such a good actor. He's such a good Loki. Oh my God, that was great. Let's see. Rowan, he didn't remember who he was? Loki born? No. Loki, I think, it's been so long since I said all these things, so I don't remember what you're saying. Sorry. No, Loki, I think, had his memory the whole time. Thank you, Comic Book University. You are so cool. Oh, thank you, man. I do my best. Hey, Lewis, Geek Fortress, does stopping by to say hi. That's all. Haven't seen it yet. See you tomorrow at 8, Professor. Yes, Lewis from the Geek Fortress. And thank you. It's Saturday, dude. It is technically tomorrow, though. It's after 12. So my 8 o'clock podcast, I will be talking with Lewis from the Geek Fortress. That's on YouTube and Facebook. He's bigger on Facebook. Whatever. He's getting there. We will be talking about this movie. Ad infinitum. Ad infinity. Gabriel Hughes. Man, Comic Book University, you answers all my questions. Thank you so much. No problem, brother. Yeah, I agree with you. Superman vs. Batman did not make any sense. Yeah. There was bad direction. Literally, the only thing I can complain about with that movie is the direction. And unfortunately, the director is all-encompassing for a movie. He is the end-all, be-all. So even great actors could get crappy treatment. No, I meant Damon. Damon being Loki, the Loki identity. Rowan, when you go and see the movie, you will understand exactly what I meant. I don't want to give it away because it's just so fun. When you see it, you'll thank me mentally. You'll send me good vibrations my way. Beach Boys. Good. You'll send me good vibrations that I didn't ruin it for you because it's worth it. And I got to try and look up who the other actor was in that scene, but yeah. Oh my God. They even did another Walt Simonson homage. The thing where, I actually had to think to myself, did they do that in the movie before? No, they didn't. There was a scene where he says, reveal yourself, get rid of all these little things. My wife is Facebooking me. She's right in the other room. Well, I guess she knows don't bother me while I'm loud enough. She knows I'm on video. Anyway, what do you call it? There's the one scene where Thor throws the hammer and then holds Loki right in between him and the hammer and puts his hand here. He says, now you know this hammer is going to come back to my hand and nothing is going to stop me. Is going to stop that hammer from returning to me. The only thing that could stop it is Odin. And you're not Odin. So that was actually a really good, because that actually happened directly in the Walt Simonson run. Walt can be proud that there was so much homage to him. This was really good. It was really good. All right, guys. I think that's pretty much everything, literally. I've been going for about an hour. Nobody's going to watch this whole thing. Anyway, guys, I am going to boogie out of here right now. Good. So, anyway, seriously, I wouldn't recommend this for just a joke or whatever. Seriously, this was a good movie. Go and enjoy this movie. It's a really good movie. It's worth it. And there are so many people in this movie. I feel like I'm going to have to buy the DVD, the Blu-ray, whatever, just so that I can freeze frame a bunch of scenes and try and see. Because even if you go back and you look at the World War, not the World War Hulk, they didn't make that. They can't make that. The Planet Hulk animated Marvel movie, you go back and you look at that. There are a lot of spoilers in there. Not spoilers. There's a lot of Easter eggs in there. You will find, I think, no, not every. You will find almost every single character from the Guardians of the Galaxy in the audience, which is pretty cool. And when Hulk is fighting in the gladiatorial arena, go back and watch that. Every single member, I believe, of the Guardians of the Galaxy is in the audience in different areas. And you go back and look at. A lot of people didn't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were back then. So it's like, okay, yeah, people, random person. Okay, yeah, who cares, whatever. But no, there was no Thanos. There was no Thanos in this movie. I actually thought there was, and then I saw the movie and the scene that was in question. It's like, oh, no, that wasn't Thanos. But possibly in the okay, the end credit scenes. I'm not going to give you the end credit scenes because, whatever, but can I? I don't, you know what? Yeah, why not? Because honestly, like, they weren't anything great. Oh, the Stan Lee cameo happens right before he battles Hulk in the arena. What happens is that he no, hold on. What happens is he's the guy who cuts Thor's hair. That's what that is. And the CGI on it is horrible. Taserface looked better from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. As far as the end credit scenes, if you don't want to know the spoilers, just, leave now. But and one person just did. That's so funny. As far as the end credit scenes are concerned, they were not great at all. They're leaving. Asgard is destroyed. Ragnarok actually does happen in this. It wasn't a false narrative. Ragnarok happens. Twilight in Surtur's hand goes right through Ragnarok and destroys it. Oh, Cord, I meant to say this earlier, so some people are going to miss this. Cord had the worst voice in this, but it was funny. Just remember, Cord is not going to be the badass warrior that he was in the what the heck was Hulk's Warbound. He is not the strong warrior he was in the Hulk's Warbound and Planet Hulk and World War Hulk. He's got a very weak voice, which is whatever. You ever met a big guy with a really soft voice? That's Cord in this. Anyway, he Stanley Galactic Barber with adamantium shears. So he no, it had to be vibranium or Uru because you can't have adamantium in the Marvel universe. That's owned by Fox right now. So he Asgard's destroyed. They're all on a ship leaving towards Earth. And there are a whole bunch of Asgardians on there. And the wild thing about it is that this is a direct homage to the Corbinites from the very beginning of Walt Simonson's run. Because the Corbinites, that's where Beta Ray Thor comes from. He is a cybernetically enhanced Corbinite. And he is worthy of the hammer. Unfortunately, you don't get to see Beta Ray Bill in this except for his head on, as a statue on the big tower that the Grandmaster is in. But you do get to see that they are all aboard this gigantic ship that looks exactly like the Corbinite ship, like frame by frame. It looks exactly like it. And all of a sudden, this much larger ship just kind of shows up in front of them. And it's like, is this Thanos' ship? I don't know. But when you guys see, if you haven't already seen the what is it? The Avengers Infinity War. No, that trailer was not in this. I was really hoping to see the Infinity War trailer in here. Nope, I was disappointed. The Black Panther one was there. I got to rock out because it's such an awesome beat. The revolution will not be televised. It will be live. It's such a good song. I love that song. I forget who actually said that. It wasn't Fred Hampton. That was actually something that was really said back during the Black Panthers movement. Anyway, and for the sake of conversation, the Black Panther movement came out 3 months after the Black Panther started in the Marvel Comics. Factoid. What you do have is this gigantic ship just shows up in front of them, and then that's it. That's the end of the mid-credit scene. That's all that happens. It's a big, gigantic, scary-looking ship. Maybe it's Thanos' ship. Who knows? But when you actually do see, because the trailer was leaked online twice, so you could see it. I'm sure you could see it. But they actually show that Thor is alone, floating through space, and he crashes on the front of the Milano's window. The Milano is the ship that the Guardians of the Galaxy fly. So, and then Rocket's like, ew, get it off. So that would explain how that's going to happen later on. They are in space going towards Earth, and this giant ship shows up in front of it. The end credits scene, it's kind of like the end of the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, where it's like that Howard the Duck scene, where it's like, oh wow, it's Howard the Duck. Who the hell cares? This is a scene where the Grandmaster crashes on back on Sakaar, and there was a revolution there, and they're all just like, all these people that were in the revolution surround him, and he comes out the ship and he's like, oh, hey, and he's trying to talk his way out of getting killed by these people. So there's that. And literally, like, both of those scenes were kind of like their throwaway scenes. It's not that big a deal. But again, I will say, stay till the end anyways, just to see it. Jeff Goldblum, like I said, is really funny in this. And watching the end credits was a good reminder of everything that happened in the movie. Really good stuff. I enjoyed it. This was a damn good movie, guys. Go see this. And that's the hour mark exactly on the moment. So I'm going to boogie out of here, guys. I seriously hope that you go and see the movie. Hope you enjoyed this spoilerific review. Go see the flick. All right, guys. Professor Bell, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.